and that goes to that transitions to artists like Logic around the
Hmm.
time in 20 around the time he started dropping the Young Sinatra mixtape.
Yo,
People don't people don't
Logic's run was incredible to like witness, right?
yeah.
Like
And
because he as an artist ran the entire gamut of most loved to most hated so fucking quick,
mhm,
which was insane to watch as someone who was like, I mean, he's skilled because he was incredibly skilled from the very beginning, and you couldn't deny that. Like there was no one who was out rapping him uh on a technical level in among his peer group, right? Because
right.
Logic came up with a lot of I'm gonna call them YouTube rappers, except they're not. Like they were just rappers who weren't signed and primarily uploaded to YouTube, essentially. But like Futuristic, Kyle,
Futuristic, that man different.
oh my god, like oh, yo, like seriously,
That man
Futuristic's
different.
run was incredible, and still is honestly. Like he's still doing some stuff. But I think he switched lanes a little bit. But I say all that to say that uh Logic's run of like being this incredibly concise but like a killer like type rapper
Mhm.
was generally well received by people who were interested in that lane of rap. And then he switched lanes once he got a little bigger. Um, I personally would say the turning point was probably the Driving Miss Daisy track with Childish Gambino, where he started making more, I'm not gonna say melodic, but like less focused on the technical rapping. And then, you know, he had to like prove he still had it by like going back and dipping back into it. But eventually he hit a point where I don't know, he just became this enemy. And I'm not really sure what changed in the culture, but it was
Okay,
fascinating to watch.
all right. So I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Oh, yeah,
Because
inform me, educate me.
I'm gonna educate you because I'm a huge fan of Logic. I've
Hmm.
always been a huge fan of Logic. I've been following him since Young Sinatra 2.
That's good. That's good.
I've been following since Young Sinatra 2. And what happened with Logic was definitely not fun to watch as a fan
Hmm.
because you go from the Young Sinatra mixtapes and you're praised, and then you drop your first album in 2015, right? You drop
Hmm.
no Under Pressure.
I do.
Arguably
Yeah,
one
I
of
do remember Under Pressure.
arguably one of the best albums of that year.
What else dropped
Um,
that year? What year was that? You said 2011?
2015. He dropped Under
2015.
Pressure. 2015 he
Really?
dropped Under
Under
Pressure. Yep.
Okay, what else dropped in 2015 though? Let's
Now the way that they do it in the fiscal year for hip hop, they would technically say that it dropped in 2014.
right. Did it
But
drop in like January, February?
yeah, yeah, it was around that time. Yep. Because so around that time it was Nicki Minaj's Pink Print.
Oh no, yo,
So
to Pimp a
2014.
Butterfly dropped that year.
Yep. To Pimp a Butterfly.
If you're reading This Is Too
20.
Late dropped that year.
Yep.
Shrem Life dropped that year.
Yep.
Ray
And
Sherman.
that's it.
At
Yep.
long last
Ray Sherman.
ASAP
Yep.
dropped that year.
Yep. It was a lot. It was a lot of
Dreams
stuff.
worth more than, oh my god.
Yeah. It was.
Surf
Yeah.
from the Social Experiment dropped a god. This year was
Yep.
loaded.
Yep.
Oh, hold
So
on. Listen,
2014,
I don't like shit. I don't
2014
go
dropped.
outside. Dropped that year.
Yep.
What a time to be alive.
Yep.
Rodeo.
Yep.
Tetsuo
Yep.
and Youth. Barter
Right.
6. Yo, this year was
Yep.
loaded. This year was fucking
Yeah.
loaded, man.
Yeah. Now, and what people don't want to admit
And
is that
the
Under
crazy part is,
Pressure
I still agree with you. I still agree with you that Under Pressure
under
was probably one of the best albums.
Under Pressure was definitely one of the best albums in that year. People don't
Hmm.
want to admit that because they've grown to hate Logic, and the reason why is because around the time that he took, remember when he took that long drought? He took that
Yeah, yeah.
that
He sort of just not even fell off, but like purposefully was like, I need some time to figure shit
he
out.
took he
Wait,
took
did
a
he
year
got
gap.
married, didn't he? Is that what happened?
Yeah, around the time he got married, because remember the year before 2016 he dropped in
2016 or
2016 he dropped.
2014?
This was no. This is 2016, right before he got married. He
Oh,
dropped
right.
2016. He dropped Bobby Tarantino. He dropped Bobby Tarantino,
Yes. No, I
and
that was a moment, honestly.
Twitter went crazy because
Yeah.
every song on that album is actually a mixtape, but
Mhm.
every song on there was top 10 production. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Six snapped on that shit.
Absolutely.
That production was out of this world. And another a year later, 2017. Um, no, actually in the same. I think it was actually in the same year.
It
Or
might
it
have
was
been. It might have been
yeah, I think it was the year
because
because
he dropped
Tiny, right?
Yeah, he dropped Bobby Tarantino way earlier.
He dropped Bobby Tarantino, and then he also dropped. I think within that same year, he dropped The Incredible True Story, which, in my opinion, is probably his best album. In my opinion, although Under Pressure still reigns supreme
Right.
in a lot of different conversations, but An Incredible True Story was flawless. I love it.
Was that the one with the skits where they were in the spaceship?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I agree with you.
And then he goes, and then like after that, he did a few features, and he kind of like disappeared for the rest of 2017. He kind of disappeared. 2016, 2017. He kind of disappeared. It was weird because before then, you know what I'm saying, he's dropping a project every year, and then like
essentially, yeah.
Right, you take a year off, and it's just like, yo, where the fuck is Logic? And then he comes out with 44 more.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He comes out with 44 more. I remember that when it came out, and I was just like, yo, like Logic is like really snapping right now. And then he drops Bobby Tarantino 2, and he has his wife in the cover art. Yep. Everybody's like, yo, is that his wife? Everybody's like, yo, is that the woman he's been talking about? Like, is that his wife? And I was just like, yo, like Logic really got married. Like, it was
right.
I was like, that's really crazy. Like, he got married. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because he kept everything pretty much under wraps at that point.
And then at the time, and when you listen to Bobby Tarantino 2, with the production, you can hear that it sounds more like an album than a mixtape, and you can definitely tell he's making a transition from his underground status to exactly. And when he released everybody before dropping Bobby Tarantino 2, right? Because around that time he dropped everybody. No one liked it.
Yeah.
No one liked it around that time, and it was mad weird. It was weird because it's like, why did you take this road? Why did you take this road to try to push for mainstream? No one liked it. So at that time, he didn't go mainstream.
Right. The thing is, there's something to be said about the radio, like something out of his control, right? Because the radio loved Logic at the time.
Oh yeah.
And there was something to be said about people outside of the immediate hip hop community now fucking with his music. Like, he was getting radio play, like on like top 40 type shit.
Right. And
so
people got mad with him because it's like when he made the Suicide Hotline song with Alyssa Caro.
Yeah. And Khaled was on the song too, right?
Yes. Yes. And don't get me wrong, it's nothing wrong with the song. It's just the fact that it was in weird taste. I'll put it that way. I personally was like, this is a very poignant way to talk about the subject, and I appreciate the fact that it's being done, but the execution was where I was like, I don't know. That's where you kind of saw the fall of Logic, and that's where it began. A lot of fans don't want to agree with that. It's like, no, everybody was good. No, it was not. Everybody wasn't good. That's probably like the only bad album that he has. Now,
wow.
As far as production, it's flawless. The production was flawless, but the album as a body of work just wasn't there.
It was okay. It was just okay.
I think that it didn't sound like Logic. As appointed to what I've heard before of his music, and then he comes back, he releases Bobby Tarantino 2, and he dropped 44 more before releasing the album. Before releasing the mixtape, and 44 more is arguably one of his best tracks. It was arguably one of the best tracks around the time.
Oh, absolutely. 44 more was him like, okay, y'all think I can't rap, y'all think this, y'all think that. You know what? Fuck it. Put the beat on. Don't turn it off till I tell you to.
And he said, "Who do y'all know that drops an album back to back to back to back to back?
Back to back to back to back to back." Yo, that line was so fucking hard.
And I was just like, yo, like, he's making sense right now because who else you know?
Have you? Oh my god! I know since you're a Logic fan, you've probably seen the video, but have you seen the video of him getting the take for that?
Yes.
Because he literally was like, "I want this all in one breath, and I want you to feel the fact that I did this in one take." And like, bro kept at it. It was like a solid like 10 or 12 takes before he got the take that he was satisfied with.
Right. Yep.
And it was just incredibly impressive.
It was very impressive. He's definitely a really good rapper, and a lot of people don't give him credit for that. And as he's progressing, it was kind of weird to watch because as he progressed, it's just like his music was.
Well, hold on. As a pivot, how much of the Logic discourse, how much of the Logic disrespect do you feel is attached to him putting his biracial nature at the forefront?
I was just getting to that.
Okay.
Because on that same album when he said,
"You know, I'm mixed like Obama."
I said, dog, no.
No, yo, I remember hearing it and I was like, that can't be real. That has to be like someone like parodying Logic, because this was around the time that like parody Twitter accounts were like so big, and they kind of still are, but like they've fallen off a little bit. But like there was a moment where like someone tweeted that of like not even impersonating Logic, but like making fun of the fact that it's something Logic says a lot. And it wasn't until someone pointed it out that I was like, yeah, he kind of does reference the fact that he can say nigga a lot. Like he's like, I can say it, so I will. And I'm like, it seems like you're really excited to say it, buddy. Just you're real excited.
And that's kind of where I feel that as a rap artist, he kind of took a decline. Now, like, don't get me wrong, his rapper status never declined, but as
absolutely,
artist, it kind of killed and stained his image, because it's just like you progressed well, but then you get to this point to where now you keep pushing onto your fans and to the rap culture and to the fans to the world, like I'm mixed. Look at me, I'm biracial. I'm mixed. Like, y'all, we get that, dog. You know
right? You could rap about literally anything else at this point, and we'd be happy.
This is where the Logic slander began. This is 2018. You know what I'm saying? This is 2018. This is where the Logic slander began. Everybody's like, oh, if you're a Logic fan, you kind of whack, and Logic's corny. Like, don't get me wrong. A lot of rappers are corny in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it really depends on how you want to analyze it, bro.
Right, because like honestly, everybody know Wayne said some corny ass shit. But
Wayne has said a lot of sus ass shit. Let's be real.
You see what I'm saying? So like when Logic said, it's just like, oh, if you're a Logic fan, like you can't talk about hip hop. That's actually false.
That's incredibly false, honestly.
Logic is one of the only rappers to get Wu-Tang on his Wu-Tang out their goddamn cavern somewhere in their goddamn bat cave.
Hold on, who did he get? He got RZA. He got RZA. He got everybody.
Yes, on Young Sinatra 4. In winter 2018, he dropped Young Sinatra 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got Wu-Tang, all of Wu-Tang on one song.
Wait, how? Okay, so what? Like Method Man, Redman, like all of them?
Yes. They're all on that song.
Jesus Christ! Yes, please send me that. I would love to listen to that.
Now, a lot of people try to give me a lot of shit because I'm a Logic fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could
see why. I could definitely see why.
I always admit when, you know what I'm saying, where he fucks up. Because, like, why are you know what I'm saying, why are you expressing your biracial?
Why you so, it's really, like, it's not even a matter of why you express it, why you so loud with it? Like, right. it's like personally, I don't know, like discussion of race personally has always been sort of an interesting topic, right? Because there's something to be said about the cultural identity that you have with it. There's something to be said about being able to relate to somebody over the fact that, oh, shared experiences, blah, blah, blah. But he wasn't even like, yo, the mixed experience is so nuanced. He was just like, I'm biracial. End of statement. And there was like no like nuance behind it. Because at least with like the only real comparison I can make right now is like Bino. No, not Bino. Earl Sweatshirt, where he's like too black for the white kids and too white for the blacks. Yeah.
Right.
Like that was Sunday? Not Sunday. What was that? It was off of Doris. I can't remember which song it was right this second. But like it wasn't even like poignant commentary about race. He's just saying I'm biracial. Oh, it's called Wu-Tang Forever? That's so good. Ghostface, Raekwon, RZA, Method Man, and Inspector Deck. Who else? Who else is on this? Capadonna, Jackpot, Scotty, Waddy, Ugod, Master Killer. God damn. And Jizza. That's insane. That's insane. Listen, here's the thing. That's rap history. That's rap history is what that is.
People try to give Logic so much shit. I'm like, did your favorite rapper
get all of Wu-Tang back? Like, what the fuck?
Like, come on.
That's insane.
See, I don't like to stay on the whole Logic topic too long. Because,
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
I don't want to bore the listeners too much. And to get back on his timeline, where I feel that he dramatically took the fall is when he released Confessions of a Dangerous Mind after he released his audiobook.
Oh, see, I'll be real with you. After a lot of the 1-800 like fallout, and then the immediate like, oh man, he talks too much about race thing, I kind of like tuned out a lot of Logic releases after that. I feel kind of bad about it in hindsight because I'm like, I'm sure he put out some good art, but like personally, I was just like, eh. Like I was like, he's okay, but I really don't feel the need to be tapped in as much as I was previously.
Right.
So anything after this is going to be new information. I'm just letting you know. Yeah. To me specifically.
So when he released Supermarket, which was one of his audiobooks. You can actually go on iTunes, well, not iTunes. You can actually go on Apple Music and just
listen to it.
Yeah, okay. Just listen to it. But with the way Apple Music did it, they separated in songs and tracks, and it's pretty good. He talked about I don't remember specifically. I ain't gonna talk about it because then I will.
Right. It's just the fact is it was released around this time.
Right, it was released around this time, and then a week later he releases Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. But up to the release of Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, he releases a song called Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Okay.
The name of the album. And when he released that, I listened to it a bunch of times to try to get what his point was, what he was getting across, and it seems that he still struggled with dealing with negative intentions from fans over the internet, basically criticisms. He still struggles with his anxiety, and it's very hard for him to deal with that on the mental level, and it's hard for him to deal with that as a celebrity because people expect you to be this god, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a celebrity, you know how America works.
Absolutely, it's incredibly important to remember that these people, regardless of how we are critiquing their art or whatever, are human. It's incredibly important to remember that, and any discussion that is had about their place and ranking or the validity of their work should be taken in the context of this is a human being who has made art and is sharing it with the world, like period, the world. So it's like, regardless of how you feel about a mixtape or an album or a song, it still should be taken with the same level of respect that you would have if that person was in the room with you and you were talking about their art. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's incredibly important to remember that.
And when he was talking about all that stuff, like, actually, I'm gonna just sing you the song because I want you to try to get your own opinion about it. Because I think that he was pretty open about how he felt about a lot of stuff that has happened to his mental health around the time. And I don't think people appreciated the art that he put behind that, and that he was actually venting to his fans in that song. The way I feel about it, I feel like he was venting to his fans. He was getting a lot off his chest.
Absolutely. I feel like, any song where you're like, listen, we need to talk is gonna be like a vent type track of like, yo, I got some shit I need to say, so we gonna talk about it for a little bit. I'm gonna talk for the next like 8 minutes, and then we gonna figure it out from there.
Right, and that's where I feel like with that album, he kind of took a decline. He kind of took a decline from where he once was, because he wasn't the same rapper anymore. He went through a lot. You know what I'm saying? He went through a divorce. You know what I'm saying? He was married.
Right. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. No, that puts a lot of things into context.
He got a divorce. They had their child. Well, they had the child, then they got a divorce, and he was just dealing with a lot. And I feel like with that album, although he was venting how he felt, and with a lot of those songs at the same time, I don't think people gave him a chance to talk about his mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because I mean, there was still a stigma even after the sort of Suicide Hotline song around talking about mental health in general, right? Like it was incredibly not even taboo. I'm not even gonna say that, because at the end of the day, there was a sort of subculture of people who were okay with talking about mental health. And even now, I feel like it's about 50-50. Like, I feel like right now I could go into any group chat I'm in and be like, hey, I'm having a bad day. And someone's going to kind of care a little bit, right?
Right.
But like, generally speaking, as far as just mental health is concerned, there is something to be said for the stigma of I'm not okay, and being able to voice that and have it received as okay, as opposed to well, here's what you should do, or just drink more water. Like it's that type of shit. There's something to be said for people actively being like, I hear you, as opposed to here are generic solutions that may or may not work for you, you know?
Right. And when he took that decline, it kind of, as a long time Logic fan, it kind of hurt a little bit, because it's like, damn, nobody kind of cared. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody cared. And now that he's released his last album, you know what I'm saying, he's done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's like, he retired, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right. And he dropped No Pressure. I think that was the name of it.
Yeah, it was No Pressure. Because his mindset, at least from what I had heard through the grapevine, essentially, because I wasn't listening. Well, real talk, Key still fucked with Logic up until very recently. So I heard some stuff like in passing through that. But from what I could tell, it was like, I'm kind of done. Like this album I'm releasing, and I don't care what y'all think of it. Like there is, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. This album is what it is, and y'all can just take it or leave it. I don't care. That was like the mindset I got from at least like the little bit of press he did for it, and like the little, like, because I mean everyone does like a little run up to their releases and stuff like that on Twitter and stuff like that. But the initial feedback I got from like the promo was, this album is what it is. I don't care. And if y'all fuck with it, y'all fuck with it. If y'all don't, that's okay.
Right, that's really what it was, because that's kind of like his exit. He's like, yo, I'm kind of done for now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he always said that he might be back. He doesn't know. He still does features every now and then, but
yeah, I have noticed that.
Mm-hmm. I was like, but at the same time, it's like we don't know if we'll ever get a solo project out of him.
Which, yeah, that's fair.
Only because of what, you know what I'm saying, what he's dealt with over the last 5 years. So I mean, you know, but as far as Logic as a rapper, I think he deserves more respect than what he gets. But
tremendous, yeah, definitely. I'm of the mindset of over respecting people. Like I would rather you give them their flowers while they can still smell them, type shit. Like please, if you fuck with something someone did, tell them. That's really what it comes down to. Is like if you honestly are like, this album changed my life, or this album saved me, like that type of shit, please tell them. There's no reason not to.